Ahead of Ahsoka Episode 5, I wanted to explore something which I've seen in comment sections and fans theorizing about on the internet. Baylan is becoming one of the most absorbing characters in Disney Star Wars canon, and while I've already made several videos on him, today I want to focus on how he survived Order 66, just have a bit of fun, speculate, and give you my perspective after a couple of things I noticed in the most recent episode Part 4, Fallen Jedi. I believe it gave us something of a clue, which is very easily overlooked. While very little concrete info is given to us about who Baylan was to familiar Jedi from the days of the Republic like Anakin, he was a Jedi who evaded the Great Jedi Purge and survived up until the age of the New Republic, which is right now in the Ahsoka series. All we know about him comes from little breadcrumbs in sections of dialogue between him and some of the other characters, and in the most recent episode, we learnt even more. While we don't know who his master was, or the nature of the kind of Jedi he was, before adopting some kind of path in the middle, a dark Jedi path I like to call it, after the Clone Wars. We also know throughout the series he is extremely intuitive as far as Jedi we've met go, gifted with foresight, introspection, as well as Force auto-hypnosis in order to attain information from others. Morgan Elsbeth asked him earlier in the season, "Baylan, what do you see?" And as he routinely does, he closed his eyes and saw a clear vision of what was to come. For most Jedi, this ability was somewhat clouded. Only Jedi such as Sifo-Dyas could see the future with such clarity. Baylan also ascertained details about Sabine's family the same way, as well as her attachment to Ezra Bridger. Force precognition such as this is rather rare. Most light and dark side users can sense when someone is in danger or risks being in danger. As we saw in the prequel trilogy, the majority of the Jedi had their minds clouded by Palpatine. But they weren't oblivious. They could sense the darkness that was coming, but they couldn't pinpoint the exact order of events. Baylan, on the other hand, has a stunningly enhanced ability of foresight, and I believe this may have saved him from Order 66. There is the possibility that Baylan was taught in the specialist ways of the Jedi Consulars. Perhaps he was being trained with an elite group known as the Jedi Seers. These Force sensitives served the Order as conduits of the Force, often receiving Force visions and interpreting them for the Jedi High Council. They were wise, composed, and balanced individuals who put emphasis on the will of the Force, which is why I've often said that Baylan is quite similar as a Jedi to someone like Qui-Gon Jinn and Count Dooku, but taps more into the dark. We'll come on to this in just a bit. Now, what's interesting about this whole Jedi Seers thing is that if Baylan did receive a vision similar to Sifo-Dyas that Order 66 was inbound, did he inform his master, and did they both escape? Or was it just Baylan? Did he leave the Order under mysterious circumstances, forge his own path, and leave his master for dead, and years later acquire Shin, his apprentice? Some say that she is Baylan's daughter, which is entirely plausible. In either case, she is too young to remember the days of the Republic. Baylan would have been around the same age as Anakin. He is still angered by Anakin's fall to the dark side and what followed, and we still have no idea as to what his ulterior motive is when he meets Thrawn. But Baylan's sense of foresight is his strongest and most valuable asset. If he did walk away before the Purge, and assuming his master is someone who died at the hands of the clones, then maybe you try to warn them beforehand, telling them, look, this is what's coming, you can take it as a warning sign, I've foreseen something horrible happening to the Jedi. But did his master listen? Did they fully grasp what Baylan's vision meant? There have been lots of theories as to who Baylan's master was, and to be honest with you guys, I'm going to assume it was someone unknown, an unnamed Jedi Master we haven't heard of, because so many fell, more than what we saw on screen in Revenge of the Sith. But let's have a bit of fun, and assume it is someone we know. I have seen some fans posit Plo Koon, because at the end of the day that is Dave Filoni's favourite Jedi. And there is some credibility to this theory. It could tie into his nostalgia for the Jedi Order that fell, and why he has so much respect for the character of Ahsoka, despite being her adversary at this time. When he said Anakin spoke highly of you, it might have been through a conversation between Plo Koon and Anakin, which was then relayed back to Baylan. This would explain why Ahsoka never even heard Anakin mention him once. But considering Baylan despised what happened in 19 BBY, and considering Baylan probably wishes the Jedi Order never fell, what if his master was one of the Jedi sent to arrest Palpatine? After Anakin Skywalker warned Mace Windu that Palpatine is the Sith Lord, the one they've been looking for, Master Windu goes to assemble his team of Saesee Tiin, Agent Kolar, and Kit Fisto. and one of them may have confirmed Mace's suspicions by telling him that their Padawan warned them it would come to this. It's also been noted that Agent Kolar's fighting style is similar to Baylan in many ways, but this could just be a coincidence given the prominence of Form 5 and the types of stances and moves that the late Ray Stevenson was instructed to do on set. A fighting style that fits his stature. When Baylan fights, there are no wasted movements, just pure power and focus in his combat. He is an antagonist, not someone who is fully on the dark, and I predict we're probably going to learn a bit more about his past in upcoming episodes. Even better, I would love to see Baylan's story explored more in Tales of the Jedi Season 2, whenever we do get that. But if it is one of these masters, it's worth noting they each had several Padawans across their time as Jedi Masters. Baylan could just be one of them. Another Jedi Baylan reminds me of is Adi Gallia, who died at the hands of Savage Opress on Florum. She had the ability to use battle meditation, an extraordinarily rare force ability of the time, but Baylan seems like the kind of force user who might actually know how to use this power. It was drawn upon by Jedi in order to form connections to those around them, and transfer images, sensations and locations, and at times, even the simplest ideas. Note, Adi Gallia, despite being a Jedi, once had a red-bladed lightsaber. Just an observation, maybe just trying to draw some connections, but again, as I say and I must reiterate, Baylans Master is probably someone we don't know, and probably someone who's not relevant to this story, but as fans, it's so fun to speculate and theorize on these things. Baylan's abilities get me really excited because these kinds of Jedi lived during the days of the Republic. They knew the likes of Mace Windu, Yoda, Anakin, Obi-Wan. And Baylan is a remnant of that. As a prequels fan, I couldn't be more excited, and if Dave wants to go down the Mandalorian route, we could have another Order 66 flashback showing us how Baylan survived. But I would love to see more interactions between him and Ahsoka going forward to learn more. Baylan Skoll has now promised Sabine that she's going to reunite with Ezra, and he says he wants to do something he maintains Ahsoka couldn't, following through on his word. But how long is it going to be before Sabine begins to regret a decision to disobey Ahsoka's orders? She's putting seeing her old friend first. Will she ever be able to look Ahsoka in the eye again, knowing she essentially betrayed her master after promising her that she could be counted on? And there's a good chance, even if she does reunite with Ezra, that he's not going to be too pleased with the choice she made. I'm sure Ahsoka will be able to forgive Sabine for this betrayal, but it might reinforce ideas that Ahsoka has of her that caused the division in the first place. Ahsoka has every intention of training Sabine, but I reckon in the meantime Sabine is bound to see the consequences of her actions. Even though our villains are promising Peridia, I've got a feeling another twist is coming, and Sabine won't be reunited with Ezra too soon. And Baylan's conversation with Sabine is some of the best dialogue we've had of the show so far, 4 episodes in. There is no doubt, Ray gave us a powerful, unforgettable performance, and his character being so cherished brings a big smile to my face. But what do you guys think? Share your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Tomorrow, you can look forward to a very exciting preview of episode 5. We've got a lot to talk about. I've been saving so many thoughts on the next episode for that video, so don't miss it. If you enjoyed this one, guys, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.